Hello all YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning back into this Tropical Storm Laura coverage for August 23rd, 2020. Before we get on with today's video, however, it would be really awesome if you guys did hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for 900 subscribers. We're almost there. We're less than 100 away from the big ultimate goal of 1,000 subscribers. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as ringing the bell notification so you don't miss my next upload. Also, watching the whole video because getting to the goal of 1,000 subscribers in monetization, we're getting very close. And you guys watching the whole video will help the Weather Dude channel out a lot. So please consider watching the whole video as well. Please do. And also like and share this video with your friends. Thank you. Now let's go on with today's video. Now, to those of you guys that might be wondering why I haven't been uploading, again, as I said in my Hurricane Marco coverage video, again, YouTube was giving me kind of a little bit of a hard time. Okay, nobody's fault, but I'm just saying I was having an issue uploading to YouTube on the computer, but on the phone it was fine. So that's why I was recording those thunderstorm videos, and I will be putting those in a playlist for you guys to view if you want to see all 4 of those thunderstorm videos I uploaded over the past week or so. But thankfully, everything's back to normal now, and we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Laura today, all right? And we got a update from the National Hurricane Center, 50-mile-an-hour winds, despite moving, all right, it's despite the fact that it's moving over Hispaniola and Haiti, and will be moving over Cuba and still holding the strength. So 40 knots of wind right now, about 50-mile-an-hour winds, 1,004 millibars of pressure here, all right, as of the current storm information on Tropical Tidbits. Actually, first we'll be looking at the ship's diagnostic message for this, and as you can see, the shear, okay, look at the shear values here. Kind of high, just over 20 miles an hour, then dropping to 9 knots, 4 knots. Okay, this is where the wind shear gets really low. Then, after it makes landfall, moves over the mainland United States, then the wind shear gets like over 85, 90 miles an hour, and that's way too much shear. And the storm will probably be gone by then anyway. But as of the ocean water temperatures, look at this. 30, 31 degrees at times, maybe back close to 32 degrees, which is closing in on 89, 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. Then, after landfall, there is no water temperatures, but 18 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is, all right, because it's over land at that point. Now, looking at the storm speed, as you can see, it's moving at about 21, I think maybe even 22 miles an hour right now. That could be slowing down a little bit over time, but this storm, that's the good thing about Laura and Marco. They will be moving, all right? They're just about an average speed for a tropical cyclone, 10 to 15 miles an hour movement. So they won't be slowing down rapid. I mean, Laura will be slowing down, but it won't be slowing down to a crawl. It won't be stationary, which is good news, but still very heavy rain coming out of these. Then the storm starts moving at exponential speeds of, 55 miles an hour plus, which is what you would do on portions of I-95, right, on some spots. Now, heat content, very high right now. Oh my goodness. I have never, ever seen that level of heat content before. I thought it went up to 100, but boy, was I wrong. Okay, 132 on the heat content level over the next 36 hours, and this is as of 8 o'clock this morning. So we're talking about maybe on the afternoon tomorrow, maybe even overnight. All right, so that is very, very high. That's like the most heat content I've ever seen, and this could undergo rapid strengthening at this rate. All right, since I've been on this site, I've never seen a heat content value that high. I haven't seen really 70 where it's at right now. All right, it's still very impressive. So with this heat content, this storm could rapidly intensify, and I just saw on the thumbnail, maybe close to a Category 3 hurricane, even though it's forecast to become a Category 2 hurricane. The shear is low, very low actually, almost close to nothing at some points, as you can see here. All right, almost next to nothing shear. Then it's going to be moving over very, very warm water. All right, so that's what we have to be watching out for. Again, where it's sitting over right now, and it's predestined track, maybe it's potential track, very warm waters right now, and the water is already warm in the Gulf of Mexico this time of year, so imagine it being even warmer than it should be. All right, 31 degrees Celsius water temperatures in its near future, so Laura looks like a good path for you. When we look at the current storm the current storm center, as you can see, it's just leaving Hispaniola and Haiti here, sitting right on the western coast there. All right, looking at the model tracking guidance, almost looks similar to Marco, except Marco will be going more west after it makes landfall. This will be going east. And you can see it moving over, and the models do heavily agree, actually, all right, on a Texas, Louisiana landfall. All right, Texas/Louisiana landfall going right up through the south central, right between the what we identify as the south central U.S. and the southeastern U.S. It'll be going right up between those two regions, then making a break for it to the east, potentially towards the mid-Atlantic as remnants. We'll see about that, though. That's well into the future. All right, and why it could be taking a track like this is because of high pressure, the same high that could be steering Marco in the direction that it could go. All right, and that will take the storm around the high and back through the mid-Atlantic as potentially a still a tropical depression or storm. We'll see. But again, strengthening up towards landfall, maybe Category 2 hurricane, definitely not out of the question. Matter of fact, that's what's most likely right now. All right, so let's take a look now at the GEFS tracks again. And these tracks do make the storm very, very strong. We're talking about definitely Category 3 hurricane status at landfall, but the model tracks are also all over the place. One model track takes it through Brownsville, the westernmost track takes it to Brownsville, and the easternmost track brings it up through well east of Apalachicola in Florida. So this is very, the models are going crazy here, but there is a good chunk of the models that indicate that this could be heading for Texas/Louisiana. All right, and also a good chunk of models that indicate this will be moving through the south central, through the southeast, and then potentially up through the mid-Atlantic region yet again. All right, after they dealt with Faye well earlier in the year, or just not too long ago, and also Isaias. All right, now looking at the intensity guidance here, as you can see, a lot of the models again bring it through Cat 1, Cat 2, and then it kind of weakens as it heads for landfall. But there are usually it's only one outlier model that does this, but there are two models. One makes it a Cat 3, one makes it a Cat 4. I don't know about Cat 4, but Cat 3 I definitely think is not out of the question, even though Category 2 seems the most likely right now. Just keep in mind, this storm is over very warm water. All right, if it wasn't over land, it'd be under very warm water right now. It will be moving over water and a lot of heat content. So look at this convection. All right, then you can see near that storm center right now. So it looks like it's blossoming very nicely here. And let's look at our latest aircraft reconnaissance. As you can see, they are finding some decent winds, 50, maybe close to 55 miles an hour at times, but they are finding some pretty strong winds. All right, up there at their flight level. Keep in mind, they don't fly like it several thousands of feet. They more so fly here closer to the surface, but still, decently in the air. So they are picking up some flight level winds of 60 miles an hour plus, even though the surface winds are a little bit weaker at 50 miles an hour. Now, looking at the tropical storm warnings, we do have those in effect for Haiti, Dominican Republic. We have it for the southeast, or the Turks and Caicos, and all of Cuba. Then we have our tropical storm watches for the Key West, all right, Key Largo, and even the Bahamas. All right, and even just south of Miami Beach, we have those tropical storm watches. Now, keep in mind, the cone is well south of Florida, but you can still see some impacts, some isolated storms for the extreme southern portion of Florida here. So we're talking about well south of Naples, well south of Clearwater, well south of Sanibel Island, say, and just very well south. So this is a good news for Florida because Florida was actually initially in Laura's cone. All right, thankfully they're not anymore. But then the hurricane conditions, all right, could be expected or could be possible for Texas/Louisiana, and we'll be looking at that at the exact strength just in a little bit. But looking at the wind speed probabilities, okay. Now this is just exclusively for Laura. All right, this isn't for Marco because when you look at it, sometimes the two cones will overlap each other and it's confusing. Well, this is just for Laura, so you guys won't get confused. You can see that the wind speed tropical storm wind probabilities are very high right now. They taper off a little bit, but then you might be thinking, if we're going out farther into the future, why do the tropical storm force wind probabilities go back up to 70, 80%? Even though they weaken to 40% and back up to 80% again, because they're calling for a Category 2 hurricane, that increases the probability of tropical storm force winds. If they were calling for a Category 4 hurricane, then the tropical storm force wind probabilities would go even higher. They go through the roof probably. All right, so because the stronger a tropical storm gets or a stronger hurricane gets, the more likely it becomes that we could see tropical storm force winds from that. All right, so potentially a big threat, okay, for Texas, Louisiana, and parts of the southeast because you guys could be dealing with two hurricanes. That's why I hope you guys watch both these videos the whole way through. I really do appreciate it. Now, looking at exactly how strong this storm could get. Now, looking at 8 p.m. on August 25th, becomes a Cat 1 hurricane, then becomes a very strong Category 1 hurricane with winds gusting to Category 3 status, 115-mile-an-hour wind gust, but obviously sustained winds is what we're watching. This is the 8 a.m. on the 26th. Then 100 miles an hour. And I might be thinking it's a Cat 2, right? Yes, it is. But keep in mind, here's the question now. What happens in between this point and this point? Because at this point up here, the storm is still a Category 2 hurricane, but it's well on shore. So maybe it could go 90, maybe it could briefly go to 105 or 110. Then we can do 100 after landfall. That's certainly the question too. What happens in between these 2 points here, I think, is the big question, okay? Hopefully the National Hurricane Center will be able to answer that question as we head farther out in time. All right, so here's some key messages for Tropical Storm Laura here. As you can see, tropical storm conditions are expected in Dominican Republic, Haiti, Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas, and even Cuba through Monday. Heavy rainfall is definitely likely here. Tropical storm conditions possible over Central Bahamas and Andros Island tonight and Monday, and also the Florida Keys. But we have to watch the track here because we can see prolonged periods of hazardous weather, for areas that could be affected by Marco, because Marco's going to be first and then Laura, even though the alphabet goes LM. Laura formed first, but Marco was also closer to the United States. So, but Marco will be affecting the Gulf Coast first. Then if Laura does track in this direction, then Laura will affect the Gulf Coast next. So definitely got to watch out because these two systems, if Laura hits the Gulf Coast, these two storms could combine for over 20 inches of rainfall for some spots. So this could be very dangerous. Now look at the GFS model real quick before I wrap up here. As you can see, Marco will be there, but that was another video. Now we're focusing on Laura, which is right here. And you can see, look at the cyclonic vorticity signature as it heads on up. That's the latest 12Z update. And as you can see, there it is. Look at all the red and the dark red and the black that comes in. You can see that that's at the top of our cyclonic vorticity signature loop, heading right through western Louisiana. Now, how about the European model here? How about you guys? Look at this storm. Look at this. It's a monster, but they have it heading for Galveston, Texas, and Houston, which were greatly affected by Hurricane Harvey 3 years ago. And for Louisiana, we're coming up on the 15th anniversary for Katrina. So a lot of places could be, sadly devastated by these two hurricanes. So keep it here for updates. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Dude, signing off. Till next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.